Well, that took a long time to going. Here I am, escaped, out for the day or part of the day, in a location which is relatively beautiful. Also, I think, although it's a bit arable roundabout. And why am I here? I admit, um, yeah, I can't hide even from myself that I am escaping. I'm here to escape from my unbearable situation at home. Yeah, it's up to me to do something about it, isn't it? I know that. Oh, that's a hornet. You wouldn't have seen that, but you might have heard it, but that was a hornet buzzing around my feet. Nice. Actually, another nice thing today, on this little lakeette here, there are uh, herons nesting and swans nesting, ducks and moorhen. I've seen emerald damselflies, beautiful damsels, various blue damselflies. There's a lot of those around here. There are everywhere. I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. So it's peaceful. I'm trespassing. I know I'm trespassing, which makes me a bit uneasy, because I do expect to be interrupted any minute. It's not going to happen. Not at what is it, midday on a bank holiday. It's unlikely, but it's an awareness in the back of my mind. So it gives me a certain unease, and well, that's funny. That's similar to the unease I feel at home, where I feel I'm. Oh, what's that? It's like a burnet moth or something. I've seen speckled woods, blues, I think orange tips, and that was certainly bright enough to be a burnet moth, but I didn't have my glasses on and it was too far away. So we'll go with burnet moth, though no doubt someone will tell me it's the wrong time of year to be seeing them. Something bright red. Yes, the feeling here is akin to that I experience at home. That I am trespassing. I don't belong. At any minute I can be interrupted and turfed off, have to justify my being here. Which isn't, it's not comfortable, but I would say it's familiar. It's been something that's with me for, in some form or other, for as long as I remember, that I'm going to be interrupted, called out, having to justify my presence. Uh, Michaela, or Michael, I'm not sure which, Michaela possibly. Anyway, hi to both of you. So although I feel like I'm trespassing, it's more comfortable than the environment at home. So it is potentially less stressful, even if it's making me sneeze a bit. Oh, more blue damselflies. If I thought I could whip the phone around and show you, I would. But they don't stay still for long enough, which is, well, it's good weather for them. Good weather for them being active. Sorry, I had to sneeze again, excuse me. That's the sun and hay fever. Right, what am I going to do about it? What am I going to do about the situation in which I am? Here, I shall stay here for a bit longer and then move to get out of the sun. But that's not really the question, is it? What am I going to do about the bigger question about trespassing at home? Things have been in decline recently, in the last few years. And almost every day I'm thinking it's reached a new low. The last week I haven't cooked. Now, to put that in some context, I normally do all the cooking and have done for many years, 20 years, maybe more. Why? Because I prefer the food. Little spider. I prefer the food, it's more palatable. And there's always the feeling that I'm giving something back, being of use. It's been harder to cook of late because access to the kitchen is restricted, not wanting to share the space. I don't know why I'm telling you all this. And the motivation. But to get to the point, in this last week I haven't cooked at all. I have been reliant upon food cooked, sorry, excuse the sniffing, reliant on food cooked by another, and it hasn't been good. I felt ill every evening this week, or last week should I say. And then on Saturday at an event eating food prepared by the same other, I wasn't good, and by the evening I was struck down by food poisoning. Why am I telling you this? Just because it's what's going on, it's been big in my life. To avoid that's the message just come through, to which I won't reply at the moment. The food poisoning had an advantage in that yesterday, Sunday, I felt so shit that hi RG, I felt so shit, hi RG again, that I shut myself in my bedroom all day. I didn't eat and drink anything. And that feeling of separation and peace was quite a revelation. I enjoyed it very much, despite feeling shit. So what do I do with that? Me? What am I talking about? Just talking about myself. Not even interest to anyone other than myself. In fact, I might stop in a minute. Oh, another message coming through, which I would. All right, RG. Well, it's good for you to turn up and say hi, and maybe catch up with you another time. I'm allowing myself to be distracted. What do I do? I've talked about this before, that an option is just to go. All right, yes, you've reconsidered. I don't know that I can provide anything sensational or interesting for you. I'm just rambling, talking about some of the things that are in my mind at the moment. I go, where do I go to? Well, I have an option which is not without I do need to respond to these messages because they're actually very interesting. It's relating to my family situation from a friend who is familiar with me, my position, and some elements of my family. I have an option. I have somewhere to go, which is appealing in many ways. It's not without its potential issues, shall we say. But it would be a solution to the immediate problem, which is where I would live. The next problem to face is, what the fuck am I going to live on? Which means getting a job, a pension fund which I could dip into if necessary, which once I paid tax on it, and it would enable me to survive for a while. But there is the slightly thorny issue which I have pointedly not addressed, which is to how much, to what extent is it mine exclusively, and to what extent do I owe some to my partner, who is, I would say, relatively wealthy in her own right. And that consideration hampers me when it comes to thoughts of drawing on that pension. I don't feel it's entirely mine. Oh, sorry about the sniffing. That's hay fever. One of the joys of being in the countryside. So ignoring that, ruling out the pension as something to live on, I need to find work. What can I do? Now, someone I speak to about this says, oh, you can do anything. There are lots of things you can do. You can be a handyman. Well, I'm not a handyman. I know fuck all. I bodge things very amateurishly and to a standard with which I can be content, but which I wouldn't. Oh, it's a mayfly, I think. With which I wouldn't expect anyone else to be happy, certainly not if they're paying for it. Gardening, I've done that. What do I know about it? And hereby we come across a continuing problem, is that I don't have any skills. I've never learned to do anything properly. Everything I've done, all the jobs I've done, have been teaching myself on the job and like catching up all the time, improvising, finding ways around it, which get me through, but they don't teach me anything about the job, what I should be doing, how to do it. So I don't really feel I've learned to do anything. Add to that an abundance of unconfidence. As well as a inclination to spend time with people. The last employment I had, it became untenable. One of the reasons was that I was working with other people and I didn't want to do that. I had survived it for many years before solely because I wasn't working with other people, but it changed. I was moved and now I found I couldn't do that anymore. When I was younger I could do it to a certain extent, not well, but it has become increasingly difficult. And in some ways what I'm doing at the moment, which is selling to the public through a market stall, does suit because I am working on my own and dealing with lots of public, but it's a defined transaction. They are coming to buy something that I have to sell, so that's all fine. So I sell the product, we have a chat, they move on. And I can tolerate that. In fact, in some ways it suits me, although the small talk's a problem as always. But the idea of going back to working with a group of people day in, day out, even if I felt there was a job that I could do, that I was a skill, there was a skill I could bring to a job, it's really a bit much, too much to think about. It's earlier than I thought, it's not midday yet. I'm rambling, go on, tell me I'm rambling. blue damselflies. Uh, Beautiful things. They look like little sticks of brightly anodized aluminium floating around. I remember many years ago my sister, this would be 50 years ago, my sister had some earrings. Hi, cricket kid. 67? What, me? Pension age. Yes, unless it's moved again. I don't know if that's what you're saying, but that's how I interpret it. Yes, my sister had some earrings which were dangling aluminium, little in bright colours, and the blue damselflies. Always call those to mind. That's a little relevance, was it? I'm trying to get off the subject about which I was talking. Where to go? When I was younger, much younger, I would happily go from one temporary job to another with no qualms or anxieties. Well, a slight bit of anxiety about where the next money was coming from, but the confidence that I would always find something to do. There'd always be a job. But things have changed. I'm now 40, 45 or more years older. Hi, Ian. And I don't have the confidence that I had then in my ability to just pick up and do any job. I don't have the skills, but the job market has changed in that the jobs aren't around. Back then, as someone who had studied for A-levels, gone into further education, one was almost guaranteed a job in an office, which would be so boring, unbelievably boring, and, dare I say it, untaxing. But it was reasonable money, and there was always plenty of work around. Later there was industrial work, warehousing, kitchens, but I don't look around for people like myself anymore. And do I want to go back to working in that environment? Driving jobs were always a good one for many years. Do I want to do that? One of the reasons I stopped, apart from working for a crap company, but then most of them are, was that I couldn't stay awake. My day driving was dominated by keeping awake, pinching myself, slapping my face, pulling my hair, having to stop and sleep at frequent intervals. Change the view there, get some sun on the other side, so that's what I've been looking at, which is very picturesque. And then the driving industry's changed. There's a lot of pressure involved in it, which I wasn't there when I was driving. I don't want that. What do I want? Someone to pay me doing something that I enjoy. Wouldn't we all like that? Then I'd have to define what it is I enjoy. What is my passion to follow? The view from this side has on my right a field of clover, which you probably can't see in that, but it's red clover. It's very attractive, close to. Is there anything else to say? Other than that I'm still at the crossroads, I still don't know where I'm going. I have the option of somewhere to move to, which would mean in effect just leaving everything behind, which is not something to undertake lightly when it's 30 years of life being abandoned. "30 years of crap, 30 years of responsibilities, well, 30 years of my life just leaving behind, plus a lot of guilt associated with it. And that is a significant consideration. I wish the damselflies would stay still for longer, then I could show you. Well, here I am, 20 minutes, I've not said anything really interestingly or momentous. I'm pleased I've found somewhere to stop and that I've said something, not of any interest to anyone but myself. And oh, we've reached the point where we have no viewers. Oh, someone's come back. I was thinking, if there's no one there, it's time to go. But then I'm missing the point. This isn't for anyone out there, it's for me. So it's a new experience, talking live. It's a rather fast ladybird. I found it interesting. Will I ever listen back? I don't know. Will I make this public? I don't know. Is it worth it? As I say, it's for myself. So there we are. I'm here, I'm running away, I'm escaping, hiding from home. Difficult to spin that as a position of strength, but here I am, that's what I'm doing. And here I will say goodbye and address some interesting messages which are far more interesting than what I've been saying here, I can assure you. So that's it. Bye.